Crime, Wine, and Chaos contains adult language and graphic content. Listener discretion is advised.
We didn't start the fire, Chaos Kids. I'm Amber.
It's always been burning. I'm Naomi, and this is Crime, Wine, and Chaos.
Yes, it is.
We didn't, but we'll tell you all about the fire. Remember the bonfire at the Aggie bonfire collapse? That was your very first Chaos story.
I think about that story often. What a tragedy.
I remember that. Mm-hmm. And then I watched the documentary that I think that you watched that you got that info from because there was
because you can't even describe the magnitude of the size of this.
The size of that bonfire. It's insane.
It's the size of a house.
No, it's bigger than a house. It's the size of like a 2-story house.
Yes. Oh my God. And the people just in all different.
I can't.
Levels of it. You have to watch it.
Yeah, it's awful. It's
to understand. Yeah.
Sister,
you're in your new quarters.
I am. I mean, I'm in here. And by the looks of it, if you're watching this, if you're seeing this, one of our videos, it looks like I live in a finished home.
No. We are not going to pan that camera around. We are not.
We're not. No panning.
Stay right within this frame.
This frame looks good.
That's all that counts. That's all that matters. It doesn't, you're doing great.
Thank you. The bedroom is the oasis in the madness at this point is what it is. At least I have that,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I took a shower the other day at a truck stop.
Good for you. Good for you.
Doing my laundry at the laundromat. Look, we do what we got to do.
Uh-huh.
Yesterday, I washed my hair with dish soap in the bathroom sink.
Oh, no.
Well, because I forgot a bunch of my shit in the shower. I forgot my shampoo in the truck stop shower, and I didn't realize it until a couple days later.
Was it still there when you went back, or is it gone now?
Well, I didn't go back because that was like a few days ago. I'm sure it's gone. It's probably in the garbage, which is really too bad because it was like basically a brand new giant bottle of native shampoo, which I really, really like. And I was really
that's not cheap.
No.
Now you're like a ducky with fucking Dawn? No. That's hair disrespect, sister.
It might be palm olive. I don't know. Look, you do what you got to do. Sister, I'm living the hashtag wood stove life. I've become a fire tender 24 hours a day.
Oh my gosh. If you start churning butter, then
I'm only a couple steps away from camping. You would hate it here.
Ew. Yeah, no camping. No camping.
How are you?
I mean, pretty good. I got nothing to report, really.
Oh, well.
Nothing.
It's great.
Thank you. I don't know. This is our first time recording in a long time, even though the Chaos Kids didn't notice.
The Chaos Kids don't know this, but yes, we have not recorded in, I think it's almost 4, it's 4 weeks. It's close to 4 weeks.
Yeah.
It's like 3.5 weeks.
Which is weird.
Recorded. Very weird.
Yeah.
I was telling Amber right before she hit the start button that I was feeling a little nervous. Like, I don't know if I can do this.
You can do this. It's like riding a bike.
It is like riding a bike. And speaking of, do we have announcements for the good of the order?
We do. We do. I think the correct me if I'm wrong, the new Chaos Kid and the review, that's the same person, right?
It is the same person.
Oh, do you want to read the review?
I mean, I can. Give me a second.
Okay, well, I'm going to welcome Christopher O as our new Chaos Kid.
Nope, can't hear you.
Well, I know you can't. I'm not talking to you. I announced Christopher O as our new Chaos Kid Club member.
Christopher O, who's also one of my new best friends.
I'm going to show him my O face. Oh, like that?
Oh, no, not like that.
Best movie ever.
No. We love Chris, though. He's great. And yes, he did also, not only did he join the club, but he also left us a very lovely review on the Apple Podcast app where you can go and you can actually, you don't just get a star rating, you can typey a whole review over there, which would be fantastic, Chaos Kids. If you did that for us, he said, my new...
Yeah, the O face.
You know what I hate about the app is that it doesn't, if the title is too long, it goes ... and it won't show you the whole thing. I don't know how to see the whole thing. It says my new favorite morning I want to say his new favorite morning commute podcasts, because I think he's been listening to us while he's going to work and back. 5 stars. He says, I'm so glad I stumbled upon this gem of a podcast. Now my long commute to and from work is much less boring.
Oh,
very nice. Very nice.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. He gets lots of thank yous, not just for that. Chris is a gem. An absolute he's an angel. He's an angel sent to me from above is what he is.
Oh.
Awesome. Sister, do we have anything else?
I don't think so. Am I forgetting something?
Yes. Shit. I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. Oh, what are words? I don't think so, unless I'm forgetting something.
Okay, you might be.
And if I am, there's nothing I can do about it.
There's no way to know.
There's no way to know. I'm doing my best.
Okay, well, you know
you
what?
have a crime.
I do. I was just going to tell you, let me tell you a crime then. Let's just get into it. Yeah, we've taken up enough of their time. Let's just go right into it.
Okay.
No pomp and circumstance here. March 30th, 2005. A passerby in Croke Park on the north end of Dublin, Ireland, spots something floating in the canal. It was a human leg. The foot had a sock on it. The police were alerted. The forensic doctor who arrived on the scene said, quote, "At first I saw a hand and a foot in the water. There was a sock on the foot. Gardaí said a lot people had seen the body parts. They thought it was a mannequin.
It's never a mannequin.
It's never a mannequin. Henceforth, I will not be saying Gardaí or Garda or whatever. That's what they call the police in Ireland. We're just going to call them the police.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, sorry, Ireland. I can't. So, a full search of the canal ensued. Police divers searched for a week and retrieved most of the rest of the body in 7 parts. The only items recovered along with the body were socks, a shirt, underwear, and the black plastic garbage bags and sports bags the parts had been placed in when tossed into the canal. Most notably not found was the head and the penis.
Oh, God.
As the news was reported on the discovery of a dismembered body found floating in the canal, missing a head and a penis, very quickly the public and the police began to speculate that this was a ritual killing. Police contacted London police and a department in South Africa dedicated to ritual killings, and both those agencies agreed the Dublin police were very likely looking at a ritual killing. The implication being that some kind of spiritual doctor came in, dismembered the body, took the head and penis, and left with them. And if so, this case would likely not be solved.
Are we still in satanic panic mode in Ireland in 2005?
No, because this is, they would say like a witch doctor types thing. Like, is, right? So police searched the missing persons database. At the time in Ireland, 62 people were reported missing, but there was no match to be found there. In April, police made appeals to the public for help in identifying the deceased. They turned to Crime Stoppers and did a poster campaign downtown, put articles in the local ethnic papers, and one detective even went to church services in those communities to try and get help from the immigrant communities, many of which may be afraid to speak with the police out of immigration fears. What police knew was it was a black man, and he was wearing an Ireland football away jersey long-sleeved, which was very distinctive. They also enlisted the help of a professor in Belfast who was able to determine, this is wild, based on water samples around Dublin and bone fragments from the body, the exact neighborhood the deceased had lived in for over 200 days.
What?
Mm-hmm. A neighborhood not far from the area of the canal where the body had been discovered.
Interesting. Okay.
Right?
That's like similar to like collecting soil samples and being able to like figure out
Like what
where a
beach it came
person
from or
was-
something. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Very much like that. Apparently,
Mm-hmm.
our bone matter actually changes and whatever, like reflects the water that we drink.
Damn. I'm so glad there's people in this world smarter than me.
I know, right?
Smart pants.
Smarty pants.
Uh-huh.
But it was the jersey that turned out to be the key to identifying the man. A Somalian man called into Crime Stoppers and earned himself a very nice reward when he helped police identify the man as Farah Swaleh Noor. He recognized the jersey. He also gave police a big hand in their investigation when he told them he had seen his friend Farah on March 20th, 10 days before his body was found, on O'Connell Street, and he had been with 3 ladies. This friend was pretty sure that when he'd seen Farah that night on the street, that Farah had been quite drunk. He had also tried to call Farah on his cell phone after that night, and Farah never answered the phone. Based on this information, police were able to narrow their CCTV search because they had been searching the extensive CCTV footage they had all over Dublin, but they had a lot of it, and they weren't exactly sure where or what they were looking for.
Right.
So they narrowed it to that street on that night, and that was when they were pretty sure they had identified the 3 women Farah had been with. They also found footage of the same 3 women in a supermarket later that evening, buying food and cleaning supplies.
God, why do people always go on tape showing themselves like I'm just buying some duct tape and some bleach and some gloves and a shovel and
a suitcase. It's fine.
Stupid. Yeah. I always do this at Walmart at night.
Right. So these 3 women were definitely persons of interest. Police went digging into Farah to figure out if this was actually their victim. They learned that he was 38 years old at the time of his death. He arrived in Ireland in December 1996, claiming to be a Somalian called Shalila Salim, whose family had been killed in Mogadishu. Subsequent investigations revealed that he was in fact Kenyan and that his family was still alive. Police learned that Farah was a violent drunk, and his violence was most often directed at women. In fact, the Department of Justice, Equality, and Law Reform ordered that he be deported when it was discovered he was not a Somalian refugee in need of asylum, but he appealed and was granted citizenship in March 1999 on grounds that he was the father of an Irish-born child. Because in 1997, he raped a mentally disabled 16-year-old Chinese girl who became pregnant as a result of the rape, and she gave birth to a son by this man.
Oh. Citizenship granted, sir.
Yes.
Gross. Wow. Okay.
2 other women also had children by Farah, and both described having been raped by him.
Holy shit. Wow.
Farah had 4 previous convictions for offenses, including intoxication, threatening and abusive behavior, and assault. He had faced 8 charges of disorder and assault, one involving a sexual assault in which a knife was found at the scene by police. He was convicted on 3 separate occasions, but never served time in jail. He was also a suspect in the unsolved murder of Ronaid Murray, which took place in September 1999.
Jeez.
He would later be absolved. He would later be found not involved in that murder, but he was a suspect. At the consent of the mother of one of Farah's children, police obtained DNA and positively identified the dismembered body as Farah Swaleh Noor in late July 2005. They were sure they had identified him, but they needed that DNA evidence to prove it. In the meantime, Police have been learning what they can about the 3 women in the CCTV footage. Kathleen Mulhall, aged 52, and 2 of her adult daughters, Charlotte, aged 23, and Linda, aged 30. Kathleen Mulhall had been married to John Mulhall for 29 years. The 2 had 6 kids together, 3 boys and 3 girls. John allegedly abused Kathleen for years and had been a member of the Hells Angels. The Mulhalls were from Kilclare Gardens, a working-class area in South Dublin. Kathleen and John's marriage broke down, and Kathleen got into a relationship with Farah in 2002. Farah moved into their home with Kathleen while John was still there.
Oh.
And John took some of his children and moved out.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
He rented a few different places in Dublin over a period of a year and then moved back into the home after Kathleen left and moved to Cork with Farah.
Mm-hmm.
Kathleen and Farah returned to Dublin in 2004, and it seems that Farah was also physically abusive to Kathleen.
Yeah.
Linda and Charlotte.
History.
He has a history.
Mm-hmm.
Linda and Charlotte and their siblings obviously had a rough upbringing in John's house. Mm-hmm. And both of these women had substance abuse problems. Linda was a high school dropout with 4 kids. After leaving the father of her 4 children, who was allegedly abusive, she got into a relationship with another abusive man who ended up serving a 7-year prison sentence for abusing her children. Horribly. Jesus. Linda had 1 prior conviction from 1993 for larceny. Charlotte had a number of prior convictions for criminal damage and public order offenses and made a living doing sex work. Detectives interviewed Kathleen, the mom, and she was very dismissive. She claimed that Farah had left her, abandoned her for another woman. She said she hadn't seen him or been in contact with him and didn't want to have anything to do with him.
Okay.
Police investigated the apartment where Kathleen and Farah had lived together, which was now being rented by someone else. And after a second second sweep of the scene. So the first time they found nothing, but the second time they went in and went more detailed and they did the luminol and the whole 9. And that's when they found traces of blood that turned out to be Farah's, confirmed through DNA, on the wall, the carpet, and the furniture. It was August when police arrested Kathleen, John, Linda, and Charlotte. Police believed that the 3 women were all involved in some way in the murder and the cleanup, and that John knew and had helped with disposal.
Oh.
There was an assumption that these women didn't have a vehicle, and so they didn't see how these women would have disposed of the body in the canal.
Gotcha.
So they assumed that John was probably the one who did that.
Okay.
Of course, all of this was circumstantial. They had no murder weapon, no confession, and no other solid evidence, and they couldn't charge them. So they arrested them, they were holding them, and then the equivalent of their, prosecutor's office or whatever was like, yeah, you don't have enough. We can't charge them.
Right.
But the detectives kept at it, and they built some kind of rapport with John, who eventually told them that Linda knew where the head was. So they went to talk to Linda, and she maintained she had nothing to tell them. I watched an interview with one of the lead detectives on this, and he was talking about how when he would go call on Linda to talk to her, she didn't want to talk to him. She wasn't even particularly warm or friendly with them, but they would still invite the police in and serve them tea.
Oh, well, that's proper social etiquette, I guess.
I guess.
Yeah. That's so funny.
So they leave, but Linda calls them after they've left, and she says that she wants to talk to them. So they come back, and she answers the door, and she's very distraught. John is there, as well as her other sister, not Charlotte. And Linda proceeds to tell them over the course of 4 hours what happened the night that Farah was murdered.
Oh.
On the day of the killing, Linda, Charlotte, their mother, and Farah had been drinking heavily in Dublin city centre. They returned to it was St. Patrick's Day weekend.
Oh, big drinking time. Yeah.
Big drink. So they returned to I lost some of my sentence. So they had been wandering around the city. They went in and Farah bought like a bottle of vodka. Kathleen bought a 2-liter of Coke or whatever, or liter of Coke, whatever it is they have, like a big bottle of Coke, and they were mixing their own like beverage, their own drinks. Because that's cheaper than drinking at the bar.
For sure. Yeah.
And then Kathleen and Linda and Charlotte all took ecstasy while they were out and about.
Oh.
So when they returned to Kathleen's apartment, Kathleen and the girls took more ecstasy, and Kathleen wanted Farah to take some too, and he declined. And Kathleen was not happy about that. So she crushed an ecstasy pill and spiked his drink with it.
Not cool.
So that they could all be on the same buzz. Okay. So Linda and Farah were sitting on a 2-seater couch with Charlotte sitting on the arm. Well, in another place I read that Charlotte and Farah were sitting on the couch and Linda was sitting in Charlotte's lap. So there was like the three of them were like squished on this love seat.
Okay.
And Farah started touching Linda in like a gropey, sexy way.
Oh.
And he like put his arm, he was like talked into her ear and he put his arm around her waist and he wouldn't let go of her. And then Kathleen started screaming at him and they had this like screaming argument, right, that took place where Kathleen basically supposedly said, God, I feel like, because I'm sorry, hold please. Okay. I have a little section that I didn't pull out that I should have pulled out. I'm like reading the wrong section. I apologize profusely. Gary, cut this. Okay. So this is what this is. They were listening to a CD and Farah was groping and touching Linda in a way that she didn't like. Linda's telling the police this, and he leaned over and put his arm around her waist. He was whispering things into her ear and he wouldn't let go of her. And she said, quote, "He pulled me close to him and said something into my ear I did not understand, but I know it was dirty, dirty. It caused me to shiver." So then he said something about them both being, quote, creatures of the night. And Linda asked Kathleen, "What does he mean?" And he kept saying to Linda, "You're so like your mammy."
What?
Like she's just like her mom.
Yeah. Isn't her mom sitting right there?
Yes.
And he's just groping her daughter?
Now, you got to remember, they're all fucking drunk as shit and they're all on ecstasy. I don't even know what that combination does. I mean, I can't. So Kathleen sees what's going on the couch. She starts screaming at Farah, like, "What the fuck are you doing?" But it's not really clear if she's screaming at him out of jealousy or because he's making Linda uncomfortable. It could be both. Who knows, right? So things got real heated, and Kathleen allegedly yelled at Charlotte and Linda to, quote, "Just kill him for me." At the same time that Charlotte is yelling at Farah to let go of Linda. Charlotte reached for a Stanley knife, which is what we would call a box cutter. And she slashed at Farah's throat. Farah had been making threatening gestures at Kathleen, and he staggered through the bedroom door and he hit his head on a bunk bed. And Linda said, quote, "I picked up a hammer and hit him on the head loads of times, a good few times, and Charlotte stabbed him." I guess there was just a hammer lying around.
And a box cutter. There's like an open toolbox just right there.
I guess.
Oh,
but
God,
then like an actual knife is involved.
Mm-hmm.
And she hit him over the head with it repeatedly, the hammer. The autopsy identified 27 stab wounds, although they could not confirm the total number of stab wounds because of the state of the body.
Yeah.
When Charlotte told Kathleen that Farah was dead, they were all screaming, and Kathleen shouted, "Get him out!" Linda told police, quote, "Me and Charlotte chopped him up. It was Charlotte's idea."
But
She said she had been in the shower and Charlotte sat on the toilet seat. Charlotte started sawing his legs with a kitchen knife, but it wasn't very sharp and Charlotte got tired. Linda said, quote, "The smell it wouldn't go away. I think about it every night." Linda used the hammer to hit his legs numerous times, and they put towels over his legs to stop the blood from gushing out. She said they had taken turns doing both jobs, and it took a few hours.
Oh my God.
At some point in the midst of dismembering Farah, two of Linda and Charlotte's brothers popped in to pay their mother a visit.
Oh no.
They were horrified and promptly fled the scene, but the damage was done. They knew what had happened. Which I presume is how John knows what happened. She also described cutting off his penis and said she had thrown it in the canal along with the rest of the body, which was put into black plastic bags and then sports bags before being thrown into the canal. Linda said she had carried the light bits and Charlotte had carried the heavier ones. "We walked down to the canal a few times. It took a few times," she said. She had decided not to throw the head in so he would not be identified.
So they didn't have a car. They were walking these bags down.
Yep, they took multiple trips and walked these bags down to the canal.
Gotcha.
After disposing of the body in the canal, they took a bus to Talacht. I don't know how to pronounce this. I'm sorry, Ireland. Walked through a shopping center parking lot and into a park where Charlotte dug a hole with a knife and the three women buried Farah's head. They took his head on a bus in a bag to a park and buried his head in a park. And then Kathleen threw the knives and the hammer into a nearby pond or body of water of some sort. Over the next few days, Linda said that something kept telling her to go back to the park. She said she removed the head and put it into a plastic bag, which she hid in some bushes. She then used her son's school bag to transfer the head to another field in the same area where she said she, quote, "kissed the bag and told Farah I was sorry."
Oh, God. Is she trying to hide it better, or was she just like, this isn't the vibe, I want to put him to rest somewhere?
It's
like,
not
what?
fully clear. It's not fully clear which of those it is.
Weird. Okay.
She said she stayed in the field for a long time, drinking a bottle of vodka. She hit the head with another hammer she had brought with her to try to break it up and said a prayer before burning the plastic bag and the school bag.
This lady needs to have her hammers confiscated, first of all.
She has not checked out on the equipment.
No. Why does she just always have a hammer? That's gross. No. Okay.
The head and the penis of the body have never been found. At the conclusion of her statement, she had said, quote, "It's not my fault it happened. I'm sorry. If I could turn back time, I would." Shortly after Linda's confession, Kathleen fled Ireland and evaded police for over 3 years. She was hiding out in England. Linda and Charlotte were both arrested and charged with murder, and both pled not guilty. John hanged himself in Phoenix Park when his daughters were charged with the killing in December 2005. Their trials took place in October 2006. Linda was found guilty of manslaughter and Charlotte was found guilty of murder. Linda received 15 years and Charlotte was sentenced to life. Kathleen voluntarily returned to Ireland in February 2008 and was charged with, among other offenses, 2 counts of giving false information to police about Farah's whereabouts and withholding information which she, quote, knew or believed would be of assistance in prosecuting her daughters for Farah's murder. She was also charged with impeding an arrest in the murder investigation. She pled guilty to helping to clean up the crime scene in order to conceal evidence. Kathleen was sentenced to 5 years in prison in May 2009.
She wasn't charged with murder?
No.
Oh. She orchestrated this, though.
She did.
Wow. Wow.
The murder, and especially dismemberment, of Farah Swaleh Noor is one of the most gruesome and sensational murders in Ireland. During the initial media frenzy surrounding the arrest of sisters Linda and Charlotte Mulhall, the two would become dubbed the Scissor Sisters, a moniker that persists to this day.
Wow.
Post-conviction, the 3 women continued to appear in headlines over the years. In 2008, 2 years after their convictions, Charlotte was transferred to a different prison, which separated her from Linda and Kathleen after photos taken from a cell phone were leaked. In the photos, she is holding a knife with a long blade to the neck of a fellow inmate. The two were apparently joking around in the kitchen and caused the prison service a lot of embarrassment. The incident also raised serious questions about the effectiveness of keeping cell phones out of the hands of inmates.
No
In 2009, after Kathleen returned to Ireland and faced charges, Linda revealed she hadn't actually reburied Farah's head in another field, but instead used a hammer to break up the skull while it was still inside the bag, then put half the crushed remains into a second bag and dumped the 2 bags in 2 different garbage cans.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
In 2013, a couple of Charlotte's letters from prison were published in part in the Irish Mirror, where she wrote of hating the name Scissor Sister, saying it made her out to be a monster.
Oh. Is it the name that's making you out to be a monster? Or is that the problem? Okay.
She also claimed Linda deserved to take more of the blame and that only Linda knows where Farah's head is buried. So we don't even know if what Linda said about what she did with the head at any point is true or not. Quote, right. I hate her so much. She should have got life, not me. She did more than what I did that horrific night. It went a bit out of control that night. I believe I will never get out of prison because I don't know where Farah's head is. Only Linda knows that.
Jeez.
And that is the murder of Farah Swaleh Noor, a.k.a. the Scissor Sisters.
God, that was gross.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This is... but also, that guy sucked.
He totally sucked!
He didn't deserve to be murdered, but he fucking
sucked. He totally sucked. So apparently what everyone said was that when he wasn't drinking, he was a sweetheart. And then as soon as he started drinking, it was like a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde situation. Like classic, like asshole, abusive, horrible fucking drunk.
Mm-hmm. All fucking rapey and shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, let's go have drinks with that guy. That sounds fun. No.
Right?
Fuck.
I mean, Kathleen was in a relationship with him for like 3 years.
Yeah. That's when I first heard about him and then the 3 women, I was like, oh, this is like some vigilante shit. That's where my head went.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Damn.
It was just a night of drinking that just turned on a dime.
A mom and her 2 daughters. That is unusual.
Yeah.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
That was wild, sister.
Mm-hmm.
I hated it.
You're welcome. You're so welcome. Do you have a palate cleanse? Is it like sorbet or is it just like vinegar?
I got some vinegar.
Okay, great.
Which is good for your gut. It's good for your gut. Mm-hmm.
I'm thanking you now.
Oh, okay, great.
Okay, great.
This was actually a suggestion from Allison.
Oh, you know what? The last time Allison made a suggestion that I recall, it was about a disembodied foot that turned into a mummified foot.
Sure. Yeah,
I mean,
that one.
she gets big points for that, so I'm excited.
That was a good one. Okay,
It was
well,
a great one.
I'm going to tell you about the Iroquois Theater Fire.
Oh no!
I know.
The thing is that when we tell stories about fires, it's never good. Okay.
Nope. This one.
Sorry.
This one's not
go
good
ahead.
either.
Okay, bring me down, sister.
So it was a brand new theater on Randolph and Dearborn Street in Chicago.
Okay.
It was December 30th, 1903.
You know, in those early 1900s, they just did not have fire safety down yet.
Well, no. I mean, no.
Nope.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Brand new, 1903 in Chicago. Okay.
Yes. Yep. And the theater was sold out. Even though it only had 1,600 seats, there were 2,000 tickets sold. It was a holiday matinee.
What are we doing?
And so
why are we selling 400 more tickets than we even have seats for?
Well, because management allowed the show to be overbooked and have people bring in their own folding chairs instead of sit in the aisle.
Do you get a discount on that ticket if you have to bring your own chair?
I don't know.
I better get a discount.
It might be more comfortable than the theater chairs.
Maybe. It depends on the theater chair.
That's true. Oh, God, I just burped. Okay, so the show was Mr. Bluebeard, which was having a super successful run. In the cast was Chicago native Eddie Foy. He could sing, he could dance, he was really funny. He was nationally known, but definitely really someone who was seen as like a treasure in Chicago.
Right. He was like a Chicago star.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It was 30 years prior when the Great Chicago Fire happened and Eddie was a teenager. And he lived in a neighborhood of wooden shacks. And he was advised by his older brother to get his young niece and get out of the fire path. And Eddie did, in fact, save his niece. They got out of there. His neighborhood burned down. They ended up wandering around the city alone for several days.
Oh, my God.
And this like had a profound impact on him, obviously.
Yeah,
and,
he was
like,
a teenager taking care of like a young, like little girl.
Little kid. Well,
holy shit.
Well, his whole neighborhood burned down. Yeah.
Oh my God.
He already has fire trauma.
Right. I'm like, what an origin story.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then and he's living in these that's like, you know, that's ghetto life, right? Like wooden shack neighborhood. And now he's like this beloved star of Chicago. Like,
yeah,
this guy's story alone is a story, man.
I know. And he's such a pumpkin. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So Iroquois had only been open for 5 weeks. And it was already like the buzz around the Chicago theater community.
Mm-hmm.
Because at this time, Chicago was really trying to put themselves on the map as one of the great American cities.
They finally did it. I mean, they did do it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know, they wanted to be on par with people going to New York to see theater. You know, they were 100%. Like, we gotta...
Yep.
So they were like, if we have this beautiful bougie ass theater, that'll help kind of put us on the map, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this theater was stunning. The cost to build was $1.1 million. This is in 1903.
In 1903, it cost over $1 million to build?
Yes.
Whoa.
At this time, the average annual salary in Chicago was $600.
Can you imagine? What is the conversion on that? What is the conversion on that to 2025? Did you look that up? I always get curious.
No.
Hold please. I'm asking.
Okay.
What? How much was it?
$1.1 million.
That would have the purchasing power of almost $40.5 million today.
Fuck.
$40.5 million. $40,500,000 is how much they spent
Wow.
in today's money.
Shit.
That's insane.
That is wild.
That's so much money.
So much money. Yeah. It was advertised as a luxury experience. And
It better
also,
Yeah.
that the theater was absolutely fireproof.
I bet you those
And
seats were
this-
actually comfortable.
Yeah. And the fact that it was promised as fireproof was particularly important to people in Chicago for obvious reasons, right?
But it turns out that's like saying that the Titanic cannot sink.
Oh, yeah. That's exactly. Yep. Yeah.
Oh, no.
But literally my next sentence is, but what the people didn't know
No.
was that the owners had cut corners in order for the theater to be open in time for the holidays.
They spent over $1 million, which is over $40 million today. And they cut corners? Where did that money go? Half that money went to like government officials in Chicago, right? To grease some palms or something, right?
Well, listen, my next sentence is, on top of that, city inspectors were given free tickets in exchange for favorable inspection reports.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So on this night, all of these people come in, they take their seats or unfold their seats and put them in the aisle. Eddie Foy was backstage. God. Wow. I wonder how they figure that out ahead of time. Like, oh, you're going to be a seat bringer, but you're assigned to seat 20, but you're a seat bringer. I guess just the last.
Who knows?
Yeah. So, okay, so Eddie Foy is getting ready backstage. At this show was Eddie's 6-year-old son, Brian, and Brian was sitting on a little stool in like an alcove by the stage.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the audience was dressed to the nines because it was a big deal to go to the theater, right?
Yes.
And since it was a matinee show, it was mostly women and children.
Oh my God.
I know. So Act 1 finished shortly after 3 p.m. and then Act 2 began. During the second act, 8 men and 8 women came out on stage and started to sing a number called In the Pale Moonlight. All of the men had formal military uniforms and the women were in gowns. And to create the effect of the moonlight, they had a large arc lamp.
A what now?
I had to look this up. Thank you for asking. An arc lamp produces light by creating an electric arc between 2 electrodes, which is a bright spark that jumps across a gap.
So it's like a giant light bulb.
Correct.
It's like a massive light bulb, like out in the open.
Yeah. The first arc lamps used carbon rods. And so it moved like a spotlight and it created like a blue hue on the stage.
Okay.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
So the fire started backstage when the arc lamp overheated and started setting off sparks. And one of the sparks.
Sorry, I'm just trying to get the visual. The arc lamp is behind the stage, maybe behind like a thin curtain of some kind that they're projecting the shape of the moon onto from behind.
Correct.
Oh, okay. So it overheated. Sparks are flying.
Sparks are flying and hits the curtain, which catches
that it's
fire.
projecting on.
Uh-huh.
Oh, no.
The musical number is still going on, but one of the cast members on stage notice, but they keep going with the song.
The show must go on.
I was just gonna say. Yep. There are vents in the ceiling, but for whatever reason, those are closed. So pretty soon, hot embers are starting to fall onto the stage.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
Several audience members do notice, but this show was known for being like spectacular. So they thought it was like some special effects they were seeing.
It's just part of the show.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's pretty spectacular.
Like, oh, look, it's falling stars. It's just like hot embers. Isn't that pretty? So backstage, the stage crew is trying to put out the fire. They have canisters of kill fire, which is like a powder that you throw on flames.
Uh-huh. They
But that
hadn't really
didn't work.
invented like the full-on fire extinguisher yet.
No.
No.
They just have these bags of this weird powder that did not work. So they start beating on the flames, but the fire is growing too quickly. So pretty soon the entire ceiling and rafters above the stage is completely on fire.
Holy shit. Are they still singing?
Yes.
No!
Yes. And this is where all of the scenery for the show is stored, and it all had been painted with flammable paint. It was supposed to be covered with a fire retardant, but it was not.
Well, who has time for that?
We have to open in time for the holidays. Here's your free ticket. Have a good day.
Oh,
Thank you for
lost
the
you.
inspection.
I lost you. Sister, I lost you.
You did?
Yeah, you paused for a second. Was that me or was that you?
It was you.
Oh, shit. I'm like
You have-
hardwired in and everything.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. But
I'm
we're
sorry.
okay now? That's okay.
Yeah, we're okay. We're okay. What were you saying? Sorry.
Okay, so it was supposed to be covered with fire retardant, but it wasn't.
Right.
Everything is in flames.
Oh my
Eddie Foy can hear the commotion from his dressing room. A few days earlier, some of the stage crew had gotten into an argument, so he thought that that's what was happening again.
Oh, there was just a little tiff going on, a little scuffle backstage.
But as it got louder and louder, he knew that something was wrong, so he ran out of his room and he immediately saw that there was a fire. So he ran down the stairs to his 6-year-old son.
Yes.
And the dancing, singing number is still going on. They're still performing.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
We're losing so much valuable time to evacuate people.
Yes. So they were super disciplined that the show must go on. So that's what they did until they heard the theater manager yell for someone to pull the fire alarm. But that was one of the cut corners. There was no fire alarm.
What? There was no fire alarm?
No alarm.
This is reminding me of Grenfell. Remember the Grenfell Tower? They had no alarm because it was supposed to be so safe that everyone was supposed to just hunker in place. So they didn't need to have a building-wide alarm.
Have you been paying attention at all to the apartment towers in Hong Kong?
No, I haven't been paying attention to anything, sister.
No, it's bad.
Oh, no. I'll look into that and when we get off the... Okay, great. Thanks.
Mm-hmm. So no fire alarm. So instead, a stagehand runs out of the building and starts running down the road to the closest fire station. So we're doing like carrier pigeon style notifications.
Holy shit.
Eddie is able to find his son, Brian. He hands him to a stagehand and tells him to take him out of the rear door. And then Eddie heads down into the theater seats to start helping all of the kids.
Oh, Eddie.
Oh, I know.
Are you going to break my heart?
No, I don't think so.
Oh.
I mean, possibly.
Okay.
The song and dance number is still going on.
Stop it!
Until one of
No,
I'm not
literally,
kidding.
you guys stop it. Somebody tell them to stop. Like, what?
They are really dedicated. It goes on until one of the women finally faints from smoke inhalation.
You know what? These are the hardest working people in the biz at the time. Clearly.
Mm-hmm.
Chicago is not going to be outdone by New York City.
Fuck no. Fuck no. And it was as soon as that woman collapses that the audience like finally understands that this is not part of the performance.
The
and
spell
something
is
wrong.
broken. Yeah, they're fine. Yes.
Yeah. And that's when everyone is in a panic. Eddie's trying to keep people calm while everyone is screaming and running towards the exit.
The exit.
Oh, yes.
Oh no. Just
backstage. Oh no, it gets worse.
of course it does.
Backstage, the cast opens the double doors outside, but what that did was it let all the cold air come in, and it created a fireball that burst out into the audience and clear up into the balconies that incinerated everyone in its path. Mm-hmm. So for the people who were still alive, they weren't able to find the exit because all of the exit doors were covered by curtains because the owners thought that an exit sign would be an eyesore.
We've really come a long way on fire safety.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get to decide that an exit sign is an eyesore anymore. You have them. You just have them.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they try
like
to
running
go
against walls, like batting at fucking curtains, trying to find a fucking door behind them.
Yes, that's exactly what's going on.
Oh my God.
Yep.
Can you imagine? I mean, can you imagine? Of course not. Can you imagine? Actually, I can. The panic. And you're in a panic and you're trying to get out and you're running towards the general direction of where you know doors should be. And then you're hitting a fucking, I'm assuming like thick ass red velvet curtain and you're shoving at it every direction looking for an opening in the curtain that will take you to, and then you hit a wall and you're like, I know there's a door here somewhere, and you're batting at the wall like behind the curtain.
No. I get in a panic when I'm in a fitting room and can't find the hole to get out of the dress. Like, I know there's an opening here somewhere. So no, it's like being stuck in a client dress with 2,000 people. No.
I'm so stressed out right now, sister.
I'm so stressed out too.
God damn it, Allison.
Fucking Allison for the win again.
Uh-huh.
So then a bunch of people tried to go through the entrance where they came in, but those were locked because it was part of the practice, again, implemented by the owners to prevent people from sneaking in without paying once the show started, to lock those doors once the show began.
Which is
even
so
though
much
they're
cheaper.
letting people in with fucking lawn
like
chairs
lawn
anyway.
Chairs, which is apparently because, that's cheaper than paying staff to stand there during the show, because then they're just standing around. We're just paying people to stand around.
We're not doing that.
No.
Time to lean, time to clean. That's what my boss at the restaurant used to tell me. I'm like,
every restaurant boss uses that fucking line.
I would sometimes just like walk around really quickly looking like I had no time for anything. Okay. I have no tables, but I'm just frantically running around with sides of ranch.
Gotta go.
That's all you have to do. Gotta go. Someone needs ranch somewhere. Okay. So then when some of the people did find the exits covered by curtains, the doors open inward. And so it created a fucking mob push. A mob was pushed up against the door and they couldn't open it inward.
It's like every single bad idea all in one.
Mm-hmm.
This is not the first time that we have encountered a situation where the reason why people died is because the doors opened inward.
Like that one club, which I think was also in Chicago, the nightclub.
Remember the Italian Hall disaster?
Mm-hmm.
They all piled up at the bottom of those stairs because the door opened inward.
Uh-huh. It gets worse.
Great.
The only other exit was above in like the balcony area. There was a fire escape through a window, but that hadn't been fully built yet. They installed the fire escape sign and the window, but when people went out the window, there was no platform, so they just fell to their death to the concrete below.
Oh my God.
125 people were found dead on the concrete below where the fire escape should have been.
125?
Mm-hmm. Well, and I imagine so many of those people too are just desperate for fresh air
To
at
get
that
the fuck
point.
out. Yes. This is like
Mhm.
people that jumped from the towers on 9/11. It's
Yes.
just like
Mhm.
I'm just jumping. I'm just leaving.
Yeah. There were a number of people who exited that way and survived because they were cushioned by the dead
Oh my
bodies
God.
below. Mm-hmm.
That is morbid.
I know. So finally, the fire department gets there, but they are unable to get inside because of the mob of people trying to exit. They're not able to push open the door.
Oh my God.
Eventually, Eddie decides he cannot be of service in there anymore. He does go out through the backstage door onto the street to look for Brian. The firefighters are finally able to get in and put out the fire, and they describe an eerie silence. And they are calling out and asking if anyone was alive. That also reminds me of Titanic. And it was totally silent. So they just start taking bodies out and laying them side by side on the street.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm. Eddie does find his son Brian. He's alive and well.
Oh, good. Oh God.
Mm-hmm. The official death count was 602. Mm-hmm.
That might be the highest death count of any chaos story we've ever done.
My next sentence, get out of my brain.
I can't, sister. I can't.
It remains the deadliest building fire in U.S. history. The owners went on to blame the audience for the disaster.
Stop it. No, these fucking motherfuckers.
Motherfuckers. A report from the fire inspector who inspected the building before it opened showed several areas of concern. But when this inspector brought his report to his superior, the superior told him that it wasn't his call to make. So the theater opened anyway.
It wasn't the fire inspector's job to call out a bad inspection.
Nope. Stay in your lane. I mean, like, what is his...
I don't even know.
Say you do here? Yeah.
Like, what?
I have no idea. A grand jury did issue an indictment on the theater owners for manslaughter. 3 years after the trial began, there were 200 witnesses called, but before trial could even really begin, defense counsel informed the court that the city ordinances regarding the fire code was not the same as the state code, and that the theater was in compliance with the state code, and the city doesn't have the authority to override the state law. Because of this, the judge instructed the jury to return a not guilty verdict, and nobody was held legally responsible for this.
Did mob justice rule at that point? Like, we're talking about over 600 people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
No.
Mm-mm. The only good that really came of this was that several cities across the U.S. did a full overview of their fire ordinances and compared them to state law to make sure that this sort of loophole couldn't happen again. So laws that went into effect as a result of this fire included exit signs that illuminated even if the power goes out, and exit doors that are outward swinging only with a panic push bar. That is the Iroquois Theater Fire.
Holy shit. We have covered some fires, but holy shit.
602 people.
I'm like, I have full body chills. It is just unfucking real.
Well, and it's like you would think that if any city in the U.S. had already really, like, you know, went through their fire code with a fine-tooth comb, it would have been Chicago.
Right?
Like, what are we doing?
And how, I'm pretty sure that can't be true, that like cities can't have codes that are stricter than states.
I mean, I didn't take a deep dive into like the legal aspect of that.
That sounds like I don't know.
I mean, maybe that was the case in 1903, but
maybe.
Or maybe that judge was wrong and that nobody thought to appeal it and say, wait a minute, you know? Yeah.
Well, the fact that they just...
I know.
No one was held accountable.
No. Mm-mm. I will say, though, that like literally the theater was totally like there was no salvaging it. And it had been open for 5 weeks, $1.1 million. So I'm sure that at the very least it fucking bankrupted those owners.
I mean, I guess that's something.
It's something.
Considering that's all they care about.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, got to get open in time for the holidays.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Sister, that was insane.
Thank you.
And we did it.
We did it.
We finally recorded an episode.
Look at us. Look at us recording shit and stuff and things.
You know, the Chaos Kids, you know, when we took that break, we took a break from posting new content, but we didn't take a break then. Mm-hmm. We actually recorded a lot during that time so that we could take this break now while I was going through the process that I'm still in right now of landing in my new place. And so Amber had a break. Let's put it that way. Amber had a break.
I mean, sort of.
I mean, she had a regular life to deal with, obviously, but I have been not on a break. Let's just put it that way. Just a break from podcasting is what I've been doing.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Oh, but you know what? It's good to be back, and I love you so much. Hey, you guys, so be like Chris O and join the Patreon at patreon.com/yakety yak. Don't talk back. Crime, wine, and chaos. Mm-hmm. And write us a review if you can on an Apple product. If not, you know, rate us wherever you listen to us and let people know that, you know, they should be listening to Crime, Wine, and Chaos.
Oh, did a double down on the request. He did a double down.
He understood the assignment.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, shit, that was really chaotic.
So chaotic. Goodbye.
I love you so much. Goodbye.
Love you so much. Goodbye. Crime, Wine, and Chaos is produced by 8th Direction Records. Artwork by Joshua M. Davis. Music by Jeremy Williams. If you would like to support the show, you can visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/Crime, Wine, and Chaos. Cheers.